Hi, I'm Coach Lance from OnlineHockeyTraining.com, and the question of the day is, do you need an off-ice stick handling and shooting coach? As an off-ice stick handling and shooting specialist, I absolutely think you need an off-ice stick handling and shooting coach, but I don't want to persuade or influence your decision-making process, so I propose this. Let's take a look at all the people you come in contact with on a weekly basis and see how many of them can give you stick handling and shooting instruction and/or guidance, and at the end, you can make the final decision once you have all the information on the table. Sound good? All right, let's begin. As a starting point for this exercise, I think it makes sense to determine what exactly your intentions are. If you're watching this video, the reason why from my perspective can only be one thing. You're searching for ways to improve your game, specifically your ability to handle the puck and shoot it with more confidence and precision. So how does a player get better at stick handling and shooting anyway? The simple answer is, you have to put the work in, taking shot after shot, as well as amassing huge volumes of stick handling repetitions. But if you're new to the sport and have very little technical stick handling and shooting training, how do you prepare and who do you talk to? Let's take a closer look at all the people you come in contact with on a weekly basis and determine who in your hockey circle is best for the job of helping you develop elite level stick skills. The logical starting point is who's at home with you on a daily basis. As kids, we rely on our parents to introduce new things to us, basically showing us the world. So does either of your parents have a hockey background? If they do, fantastic. But are they the ones you want to rely on to teach you everything you need to know about stick handling and shooting? Before you answer, let's look at the job description of a parent. Parent job description. Long-term, energetic team player needed for challenging permanent work in a busy and often chaotic environment. Candidates must possess excellent communication and organizational skills and be willing to work variable hours, which will include evenings and weekends and frequent 24-hour shifts on call. Successful candidates are given a few hours of sleep per night for the first few years, increasing to more as you remain in the position. Even during sleeping time, successful candidates should be able to wake up and resume normal duty in a second's notice. There are bathroom breaks permitted, but these will be accompanied by small people. Be prepared to answer any questions they may ask while doing this task. Some travel is required, including trips to endless out-of-town tournaments where travel expenses will never be reimbursed. Extensive and repetitive courier duties also required. Oh, and most candidates will have to do all of the above while maintaining a full-time job. So if one or both of your parents has a hockey background but doesn't specialize in stick skill development, based on the above parent daily schedule, I think you're going to have to look elsewhere for guidance. Next, it probably makes sense to look at your hockey coaches, because they're the ones that are in the trenches most days, planning practices and executing them on the ice with the squad. But I don't know if they're the best group of people to help you on this endeavor either. You see, in addition to most of them being parents themselves, they're responsible for teaching you not only stick handling and shooting, but also a ton of other skill sets as well, like forward and backward skating, crossovers, inside and outside edges, pivoting, agility and overspeed training, quick starts and stopping drills, passing, power play setups, penalty kill strategies, regrouping patterns, forechecking systems, back checking, defensive zone coverages, breakout sequences, and penalty shot options, just to name a few. Whew! In addition to all the things coaches have to teach you, they also have to plan practices, create pregame speeches, and deal with concerned parents who may not be happy with who Jimmy's playing with or how much ice time he's getting. The commitment to being on the ice for practices themselves and on the bench for games and tournaments are all things that eat away at a coach's day. And I don't know if you picked up on it, but I didn't even mention stick handling and shooting training above. Coaches may be able to recommend someone or something to you on how to improve your stick skills, but based on what coaches have on their plate from a what they have to teach you perspective, again, you're probably going to have to keep searching for advanced stick handling and shooting instruction. The investigation continues. You can also check with your mailman, sanitation specialist, police officer, bank teller, chiropractor, your hairstylist, a kung fu master, movie theater ticket lady, gas station attendant, convenience store clerk, a florist, fireman, milkman, farmer, city worker, construction worker, or UPS guy. I'm sure I missed a few other options, but is there anyone else you can think of that can assist you in developing sick mitts? Now, you can always try to search online for drills, but this will be time consuming, and how do you keep track of all the drills you find in order to be able to revisit the content at a later time? So where are you at? Did you find the person you were looking for? If you don't think you have, you couldn't be more wrong. You see, you have found what you've been on the hunt for, and that person is me. So why or how can I say this with such confidence? Is it because I'm cocky? Nah, not like that. I can say this with conviction for a whole lot of reasons that I'd like to quickly share with you. And when I'm finished, if you don't think you need an off-ice stick handling and shooting coach, and I'm not your guy, well, I did my best to try to convince you, but I guess some things just aren't meant to be. So here we go. The first question anyone will ask about a skills instructor is, what is his or her playing background? Well, my career took me all the way up to the NHL, where I played 393 games. The next question is, what type of player were they? Well, this is where I have to be completely transparent. Though I now consider myself an off-ice stick handling and shooting specialist, as a player, I was a defensive defenseman who registered 16 goals and 33 assists in 393 games, and I love the physical aspect of the game. It wasn't until I had kids and they showed an early passion for the sport of hockey where I started my learning process of how to teach the fundamentals of skating, stick handling, passing, and shooting. I was very quickly humbled, as even though I played in the NHL, I had no idea how to teach the simplest of the core hockey skills to anyone, let alone a 5 or a 6-year-old. Fortunately, I was lucky to be mentored by some amazing youth coaches who showed me how much passion and enthusiasm is needed in those early years. Those first few seasons ignited something in me that has consumed me for over a decade. My wife calls it a sickness, but I'm still hanging on to the passion part of it. I'm currently a level 5 USA Hockey Master Coach and completed my 17th year of coaching this past winter. In addition to that, back in 2004, I developed my first hockey training aid, the Sweet Hand Stick Handling Trainer, which has evolved into a full product line of off-ice stick handling and shooting training aids. If you need anything, head on over to Sniper's Edge Hockey and use the coupon code CoachLance and receive 15% off your order. In addition to gaining more and more coaching experience and growing my products company, I really started to gravitate towards stick handling and shooting development. As a professional player, my coaches would constantly suggest to me at the conclusion of each season, saying if there's one thing you can improve on this summer is your ability to better handle the puck and shoot it with more power and accuracy. But you have to remember, back then there was no YouTube or Instagram, so I had no idea how to go about improving my hands, and there was no one in my area that taught stick handling, resulting in me just shooting pucks once in a while, totally limiting my long-term potential. Hopefully my frustration as a player, not being able to find the training I desperately wanted and needed, is going to be your gain. You see, during the same time I was learning how to coach and grow a hockey products company, I also started to develop off-ice stick handling and shooting drills, and soon after started doing lessons here in Minnesota with players just like you or your son or daughter. Fast forward to present day. All of the lessons I've done over the last 10 years of training athletes, practicing myself in order to be able to demonstrate each drill with some level of proficiency, has materialized into a website anyone from around the world can tap into, the largest database of off-ice stick handling and shooting drills, which now exceeds over 1,000 videos. And here's a little fun fact. About 6 years ago, I taught myself how to stick handle and shoot opposite hand. Why would I do this? Because I wanted to see how long it would take for the awkwardness to go away for a player just starting out. I trained 3 to 4 times per week for 30 minutes, and around month number 3 was when I started to gain some confidence and the awkwardness started to dissipate. Now, what you have to recognize is there's no college or university a person like me can attend in order to earn a degree in off-ice stick skill development. Our education is based on what we learn through our country's national program, coaching materials, and seminars, which is just the basics. In Malcolm Gladwell's book Outliers, the phrase 10 years and 10,000 hours became popularized from research conducted by psychologist Dr. K. Anders Ericsson. What his studies showed was that if you wanted to reach the highest level in anything, regardless of the discipline or field, it generally takes 10 years and 10,000 hours of focused, deliberate practice. What you need to find is a coach that has reached his or her 10,000 hours. I myself have reached the 10,000 hour mark on 3 separate occasions. First as a player. Most people don't know, but I didn't play my first NHL game till I was 27 years old. I was in my 5th season in the minors before I got the call. What's interesting is that when I had my first opportunity in the show was probably right around the same time I finally reached my 10,000 hours. It just took me a little longer than 10 years to get there. The second time I reached the magic 10,000 hour mark was as a coach, and I accomplished this during a 17-year coaching career. The third time I reached the 10,000 hour milestone was off-ice stick handling and shooting. I'm working on my 4th, developing the opposite hand, currently closing in on the 5,000 hour mark there. The difference maker and what makes online hockey training the leader in off-ice stick skill development comes from one simple innovation: the Pitlick Stick Handling Grid. This grid makes it super easy for players to learn different stick handling patterns. Online hockey training is a visual program where players can quickly see if they are a tight stick handler or a sloppy one based on if they're hitting their marks on the grid. What do you say I give you a quick peek under the hood at some of the drills you'll be able to access 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year if you become a member of the online hockey training family. All right, let's do it. Look, most players don't do off-ice stick handling and shooting. This is by far the easiest way to get ahead of players you're competing against. If you take two players over the course of one calendar year that have the same exact hockey training schedule, and the only difference between the two was one of them added 100 hours of off-ice stick handling and shooting training at home, it's pretty easy to see who's going to be leading at the end of the year and who's now chasing. Have you ever had a coach at the start of a season give you a piece of paper and say, "Sammy, these are the 50 things that I'm going to teach you this season"? It never happened to me as a player, but I am that coach and I don't have 50 things I want to teach you. I have over 1,000 player tested and approved stick handling and shooting drills I want to teach you, and the best part is that you can do all the training at home in the comforts of your garage, basement, or backyard, so you can be a little sneaky about it where no one knows until they see you for the first time next season and the transformation that has taken place. This isn't a hard sell. If you're searching for something to feed your hockey training appetite, online hockey training is serving up exactly what you want and need. If you want more from hockey, you have to be different and do more. If you're willing to put in the extra work, I'll show you exactly what you need to do. Become an online hockey training member today and follow this proven path like thousands of players have done before you, and let me show you how much you don't know about off-ice stick handling and shooting, but more importantly, how much you could be learning and improving upon if you just did one thing. You start. Become a member today at onlinehockeytraining.com. Thanks for watching. I look forward to working with you, and I'll see you next time.